Batman Returns, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, these were important films for me growing up. But if there's one Tim Burton film I was just never able to get into, it's the original Beetlejuice. Despite the distinct gothic visual aesthetic and appealing atmosphere, the movie takes too long to get going, and even when it does, it feels less like a narrative feature and more like a circus freak show. So I'd be lying if I said I was excited for its sequel, Beetlejuice Beetlejuice, and I'd like to think I'm an honest man, so I won't be doing that. The most exciting thing Beetlejuice had going for it was the addition of Jenna Ortega, who recently collaborated with Burton on season 1 of Wednesday, a show which I generally enjoyed. This movie felt like it was dipping into a similar creative pool, so even though I wasn't excited on the whole, there was always the chance I would end up enjoying this movie. Then there was the addition of Willem Dafoe, who generally makes everything better, who plays Wolf Jackson, an undead detective who was a schlocky B-rate actor when he was alive. So I threw on my Wednesday Addams merch on, went to the theaters and watched Beetlejuice, and quite frankly, I had a good time with this movie, in spite of a messy plot which threatens to derail the film. In the marketing of the movie, there was a strong emphasis from the cast and crew on how practical based the effects and world in the movie are, with Michael Keaton comparing the practical approach of the sequel to the original, saying, "When you get to do that again after years of standing in front of a green screen pretending somebody's across the way from you, this is just enormous fun." Which movie is he denigrating in the second part of his statement? I'll leave that up to your interpretation, but one thing is for sure, which is that Keaton didn't tell a lie. And the practical approach to Beetlejuice absolutely pays off, especially as it pertains to the afterlife, which is as creatively put together as a passionately handcrafted clay sculpture. Tim Burton is second to none when it comes to crafting gothic worlds that feel three-dimensional and lived in, and this one absolutely sucks you in to the point where you wouldn't mind spending a few days in the afterlife yourself. Though Tim Burton's last few films, whether it's Dumbo or Dark Shadows, have ranged from terrible to even more terrible, at his best, a childhood enthusiasm and imagination emanates through his movies, and this film is a great example of this. He feels entirely unrestrained by form or convention, whether it's a decision to portray an airplane incident in stop motion form or a musical number which comes out of left field. He's just having fun and letting the juice loose. The cast was a big part of why I had anything enthusiastic to say about this movie before going in, and for the most part, both the old faces and new faces don't miss a step. Winona Ryder does a fantastic job evolving and growing the character of Lydia D, defining her with the usual kooky energy that I want from a Winona Ryder role. Though the name Beetlejuice is spelt about 3 different ways in the movie, one thing remains certain and consistent, which is that Michael Keaton is brilliant in this role, delivering a performance that is every bit as fun, unpredictable, and unrestrained as his performance in the first film, if not more so, which is far more than what I can say about his homecoming performance as Bruce Wayne in The Flash, where you admittedly get a kick out of seeing Keaton don the Batsuit, while also acknowledging that he's mainly letting the suit and the nostalgia do the work. While he steals the show in Beetlejuice, I had a lot of fun seeing Burton reunite with Wednesday star Jenna Ortega, playing Astrid Dees, the daughter of Lydia. When she first appears and delivers sarcastic comebacks with deadpan delivery, I couldn't help but think to myself, yep, that's Wednesday Addams with lighter hair dye, and while I would have been fine with that, I ended up appreciating the differences in this role from Wednesday. Winona and Jenna play a mother and daughter who are both too entangled in their own personal grief to do a decent job in acknowledging and validating the grief in one another. So it's quite a messy ordeal where they're both doing wrong on each other in their own ways. And while I personally found myself sympathizing eons more with Jenna Ortega's character, both play their characters with such heart and pathos that you end up feeling sorry for both of them, while wishing that they each find it within them to feel more sorry for each other. On the topic of stars, Danny Elfman is essentially a star in and of himself, especially when it comes to Tim Burton movies, and he delivers in spades here. Not only in his repurposing of the score in the original film, but in his addition of new pieces, which flesh out the three-dimensional world we see in this movie. While the characters and the world building are thrilling, it's a shame that the sandbox which Burton created isn't married to a narrative deserving. In fact, for the first 50 minutes of the 100-minute runtime, there doesn't feel like there's much of a story. There's a B-plot involving Beetlejuice and his former wife, played by Hollywood beauty Monica Bellucci, but it's quite a thinly drawn out subplot, while the majority of the movie focuses on the drama, which involves Astrid, her estranged mother Lydia, and her douchebag new boyfriend Rory, who might as well have a red flag planted on his forehead. That is, until the B-plot clumsily collides with the A-plot, if you can even call it that, and the movie tries to make a narrative out of what inevitably feels like an obligatory excuse for Burton to revisit the world he created decades ago. Earlier on in this review, I mentioned Willem Dafoe as one of the reasons I felt any enthusiasm about this movie. Whether it's Spider-Man, the Florida Project, The Lighthouse, or Kinds of Kindness, Willem Dafoe improves just about any project he takes part in, even those I don't like. Imagine my surprise when I realized that you could take a magical scissor, literally and figuratively cut him out of this movie, and it wouldn't change a thing. Between this and Poor Things, I'm realizing that Willem Dafoe's fun uncle with a tinge of crazy shtick is getting a little repetitive, but if he was given a single moment to significantly impact the plot, or even a few great lines here and there, I would have been happy to see him show up. As it is, we only get to see Willem Dafoe do one thing in this movie, which is secure the bag. But I digress to say that Beetlejuice Beetlejuice is a solid movie and is pretty good as far as legacy sequels go. Is it a great one? No. And one wishes that the movie had an actual plot, instead of the vague brushstrokes of one. But the milieu which Burton creates, in terms of the world and the characters which inhabit it, are so rich that it's a fun 100 minutes to spend all the same. I'm giving this one a 7 out of 10. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for weekly movie and TV show reviews. And if you've had the chance to watch Beetlejuice Beetlejuice, let us know what you thought about it in the comments below. I'm Cinemike, and I'll see you next time.